Most CEOs are psychopaths and liars. Here are 3 reasons why, and I'm going to give you a funny story about how a CEO used me as a bargaining chip to save a couple $1,000s at the end of the video. Alright, so the first reason is they lie through their teeth. They constantly oversell and underdeliver. And by this I mean, when they're selling to customers and potential clients, they will often oversell the product or oversell the value that they are providing for the company. And this completely screws over all the employees, because now the employees kind of have to play catch up and constantly have to overwork and provide as much value. But deep down they know they can't deliver on it because the stuff that was promised on the contracts just straight up unrealistic. But those promises and those contracts were made so that the CEO can get the money on the other side, and that's it. That's the end of that. They constantly push the edge of morality. So morality is one of those fine lines where you kind of build up your morality based on your experience, and what is right and what is wrong is different person to person. And so when you constantly push the edge of morality, when you're constantly saying, you know, it's not that bad, and you chalk it up to, like I'll give you an example, right? Let's say you over deliver on your product. You say, hey, we can guarantee this many users, and then you sign them and you get the money over. And now you use the sunk cost fallacy where they've already invested in your company. So even if you don't deliver the same amount of users you promised, they've already invested a certain amount of money. So you can kind of get them to extend the contract and say, hey, we didn't get to deliver your users by this period, but I think we can do it within the next period. And that person will try to recoup their losses and then say, okay, you know what, fuck it, let's do it. A lot of CEOs use this tactic. And once you start doing that, your sense of morality, your baseline gets lower and lower, and you start thinking, oh, now I guess I can even lie about other things. And then your lies get more and more, dangerous. And that's how you end up a psychopath. And then a lot of CEOs use a facade of passion when in reality they just want to make money. Have you seen those CEOs who act like they're visionaries, who act like they're changing the world, but then somehow at the end of the deal, they run away with billions of dollars? Sam Bankman-Fried, the CEO of WeWork. Have you seen that happen over and over again? Meanwhile, you look at all their TED Talks, you look at all their interviews, and they look like visionaries. They look like they're changing the world. But it's all a facade at the end of the day. They sell you the dream using stock options and equity. This is one thing that is commonly reoccurring with CEOs. They will constantly try to make you feel like they want you to get your skin in the game. They want you to feel like you're going to win when the company wins. They want you to feel like you're going to be a millionaire when the company IPOs. Most companies don't IPO. 90% of startups fail. And usually on these exits, you are given common stock. So you are the last one to receive a payment. The preferred shares, which the CEO owns and the investor owns, get paid first. And whatever is left over is then delivered to you. So it's not simple mathematics as like, okay, the company was acquired for 100 million. You have a million outstanding shares. So you do 100 million divided by a million. It's not as simple as that. It's a lot more. There's a lot more that goes into it, and you need to consider that. Cool. So that's the first reason. They lie through their teeth. The second reason is mismanagement of funds. A lot of times, CEOs will make unnecessary hires. They think they know what they're doing. They hire the people, and then they delegate the work, and nothing gets done. That's partially because a lot of times CEOs aren't really in the industry that they're building the business in. So I have seen tons of tech CEOs try to get into healthcare, try to get into, vehicle, there's tons of industries. But these guys are software engineers by passion, by trade. And they don't have the necessary insights into these industries. And oftentimes they won't know the proper people to hire, the proper project management strategies. They won't know those things, so they often misuse the funds on just hiring. Another thing is they end up buying expensive office spaces. We live in a world where people operate more efficiently and productively in remote environments. And we also have co-working spaces. So if we need to meet up in person and hold on-sites, we can literally schedule and book co-working spaces and make that happen. But at this day and age, they want these fancy big offices, spends millions of dollars into them. But like at the end of the day, instead of doing that, what if you just paid your employees more and motivated them and used the money to actually build a product and build a scalable business, right? So it's a mismanagement of funds. The last thing is last thing on this point is they're splurging on expensive dinners, first class seats, and other luxuries for themselves, not for the team, for themselves. This is a horrible mismanagement of funds. You should be spending every dollar you receive from investors in building and scaling the business. Anything else is a complete waste of your time. And you thinking that buying first class seats for yourself will make you more productive because you will sleep better, blah blah blah. That's all horseshit, man. That's all horseshit. Unless your company has money to burn, don't do that stuff. Fancy dinners is one thing, depending on if you're taking a client out to a dinner and you're trying to convert them into a paying client. It might increase your odds, but also at the end of the day, if you just deliver value and get your word out there, get your name out there, word of mouth is powerful. There are other and more affordable ways than constantly spending thousands of dollars on first class seats and fancy dinners. And I don't know, some people even pay for like yachts and girls and stuff. That's crazy to me. When you're building a business, why is your mind going that way? The third reason is they are complete narcissists. They ask for tons of favors and get mad when you can't deliver. This also plays into them overselling and under-delivering. They will ask you constantly to go above and beyond. They will say, hey man, I need you to go. I need you to be this person. They will use strategies like labeling, mirroring to get you motivated. And they will ask you to go to the moon. And if you can't make it, they will often get mad at you and they'll blame you. They'll be like, you don't have the drive in you. You're not who I thought you were. They'll use manipulation strategies. And this is like literally blatant narcissism in their head. In their head, you owe them. You're the visionary. Sorry, they're the visionary. They're making shit happen. You owe them your time. That's how they operate. They expect you to see their vision. Most of the time, their vision is a load of horseshit. It's usually they just want to make money and they're playing a facade. But they expect you to buy and feed into that. They expect you to be just as passionate about the project that they're building because that is how you get the most productivity out of employees. But there's a massive problem here. If the company gets IPO'd and gets an exit, the CEO goes from being a nobody to a multi-millionaire with 50 houses and 40 wives or something. I don't know. Meanwhile, the employee might get an extra 50 to 100,000 payout, but their life doesn't change. So for them to see and operate at the same level as you is just unrealistic, and it's just blatant narcissism in my opinion. And the last thing on that is they will throw you under the bus in a heartbeat. And I have a story for that actually. So this story relates to when I was working on a project and I was doing a pretty good job. Everyone in the team was super happy. So this was when I was a consultant and I was brought onto a client's project. And the feedback that I kept receiving from the CEO was that I wasn't delivering. I was super slow. I was taking meetings off topic. Just a lot of weird feedback. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. And I asked around in the team and I said, hey, are you guys unsatisfied with my work? Everyone's like, no, you're doing amazing. So I was constantly confused. So project wraps and we're ready to end. The CEO tries to extend the project. And I was dumbfounded. I was like, why would you extend a project where the engineer is clearly dropping the ball according to your feedback? Then I later found out that the CEO, she tried to negotiate a couple $1,000s down. And that I put one and two together and I was like, okay, so she was shitting on me, throwing me completely under the bus to save a couple grand on the contract so that she can take that money back to the company. And I was like, holy shit, this is literal narcissistic behavior and just completely threw me under the bus to save some money. That's it. So most CEOs are narcissists and liars. I've worked with probably at this point 12 to 15 different CEOs. And I'd say about 30% are good. The remaining are very much narcissists and liars. I'm not going to name any names. I'm not going to give any details about who these people are. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.